Money allows me to not worry. It doesn't make me happy, but it frees up my mind to be happy, because I don't have to spend time worrying about how I'm going to pay the next bill. Lifestyle creep is a very real thing, if you're looking for a problem. We've gotten used to this level of money, so if it were to go away, it would be a pretty big problem pretty quickly. Our bills have risen along with our income. In the German language there is a saying that goes, Geld macht nicht glücklich, aber es beruhigt ungemein. It translates to, money doesn't make you happy, but it calms you down immensely. It seems to be really true. Went through childhood in the foster system, and fell through the cracks, ended up homeless a few times. Anyways, I am not a 1%er, but I do make more than 80% of Americans, yearly, salary-wise. Money relieved me of stress. When I go shopping, I don't check my bank account before I make a purchase. I have insurance, so I am not afraid to go to the dentist, tea or doctor. Going out with friends is fun, because I know I won't be financially struggling from a night out. It ultimately bought me a level of stability I never was used to, and I am incredibly grateful. My new problems, I wouldn't call problems, home maintenance, car upkeep, bills, etc. I am grateful those are my main worries these days. It's really crazy how people are so grateful for money when you know what it's like to really not have any. I can now buy good gifts for my friends, family. Downside, now I can't get them shitty gifts. If I ever run into money, I'm not telling anyone. Not rich currently, but due to my work skills I have been both flush with cash and scraping by. This position changes every so often. When I had excess, fuck it level of money, my immediate needs were taken care of so I could focus on other things, take on new projects. People don't realize that when you don't have to worry about food for the next months, basic household bills for the next months, fuel for the car, you are so free to spend your energy on other projects and learn new things. For me, the issue's that having that much disposable income is the temptation to spend it. Lifestyle creep and keeping up with the Jones will destroy people if the cash flow ever gets interrupted. Without that cash flow you can't afford your mortgage or your new car. I avoided it, luckily. Many others have not. I bought a small house and a nice 15-year-old truck when I had the money, and then I stopped. I put my money in the bank, invested it. My monthly stay alive cost is under 1K. When the good times end, I still keep the lights on working a low-paying job. I get you. There was a time in my life where no matter how much money I would have, I would still spend all of it. Some months I would have 500, 1000 more than the other months and still manage to spend all of it. I am glad I realized that what I was doing was complete and utter stupidity and that it should not be that way. When I was poor, no money, but free time. Now, money, no free time. It's really not fair. Maybe when I retire I can finally catch up on my gaming backlog. I'll be the old guy in the assisted living facility playing RDR2 instead of hoping my grandkids call. Fawning service industry people. Wait staff, hotel, retail store people. It's embarrassing sometimes because I don't know how to react. I have a sister who is middle class and 3 kids. I'm relied on to provide certain expensive things for the kids. Once in a while is fine. It's fun, but because I have no kids, she thinks there should be a constant stream of fun activities and gifts coming from me because what else are you spending your money on? So, you're saying this is a real case of your sister having 3 kids and no money while you have no kids and 3 money. Edit, thank you kind strangers. Grew of middle class, until 12 years old, then mom had a stroke and parents lost family business and was essentially piss poor broke. I think parents sheltered my brothers and I from it a lot. Always had something to eat but always moving around different homes. Xmas presents consisted of socks, underwear and candy bars. It sucked during high school. I was jealous. Went to college, got a job, and so did my brothers. My brothers started doing well and started supporting our parents. I ended up going to med school. Getting through residency. Still paying off massive loans, but now in a place where I don't have to worry about my car breaking down. I can go to Whole Foods, I can buy friends and family dinner without thinking about it. I can pay for my parents' dental work without thinking too much about it. I can invest in stocks, invest in a good home, maintain the home and my cars and even make money on my house by investing correctly. The biggest difference is that now I can make financial decisions that on their own make money for me, with real estate and with investing. And the ratio of this easy capital gains money only gets better every year. When you are poor you own nothing and the only way of making money is to work, but if your paycheck can't support your lifestyle it is very difficult to break cycle. Paycheck can't support lifestyle, then it is difficult to break cycle, duly noted. Need to remember that and think about it whenever I want to buy something. Not rich by 1% standards, never been poor, I always had a support system, even if I had no money myself. That being said, the number one thing I noticed is holidays aren't as stressful, because money isn't an issue. Shopping for presents is relatively easy, because I'm limited by creativity, not weighing, how ashamed am I going to be to give this crappy gift to someone versus how much do I want to eat this week. The main problems come from being in that place where, enough, is never enough. As long as I watch my spending, I can mostly buy the occasional thing I want, but I don't have enough that I can buy, whatever. It's also a dilemma when it comes to helping out my friends. I don't have enough that I can afford to solve, or really significantly impact my friends' financial problems, while at the same time I want to be generous, helpful when I can. On the gripping hand, it becomes easy to be taken for granted or even worse, taken advantage of. Springing for the occasional meal can easily become being expected to pay for restaurants that are more expensive than I want to be going to in the first place. You want to nip that shit in the bud real quick. But I have a lot of friends who are literally looking through couch cushions for gas money. At the same time, if I gave them gas money all the time, I wouldn't be able to pay my own bills. So it sucks to sit there and have to figure out when I can actually help versus when I'm lighting myself on fire to keep someone else warm. It is hard to overstate the joy of having a reliable car, with gas, with insurance, that I just take to a guy if something needs to be fixed. It isn't brand new or fancy, it's just a car I can trust. It is heaven. New problem, my nieces and nephews hit me up for money whenever they have some sort of travel event they found that they want to go on. Sometimes the answer is no, and that often causes hard feelings. Kinda the opposite here, was fairly wealthy living in a large single-family home, now living in a 250 SQFT trailer. The biggest thing is probably not having the time to be able to enjoy ourselves. Working 7 days a week just to make ends meet isn't fun. Before, we could go anywhere on a whim and not have to worry about missing out on the money. One thing I can say for sure though is I will never take normal things for granted ever again. How I miss having a dishwasher and a clothes washer and counter space. I miss having an oven big enough for a tray of cookies. I miss having more than one bathroom in the house. If I were to ever have these things again, I'd never ever look at them how I did before, I'd be eternally more grateful than I ever had been. Can't say I'm rich, but for my age, 22, I'm wealthy. I always had to think a lot before buying anything, having money makes it much easier. I don't have to say no to my friends when they invite me for something because I don't have the money, always so embarrassing. Still I'm always afraid I lose it again and I end up being poor again. It's a constant anxiety. I'm not rich, but I went from making restaurant wages to having a salaried job with the state with benefits. Last night I was at Target buying towels and was getting my usual $10 towels. I was putting them in the basket when I stopped and realized I didn't have to get those anymore. Walked another aisle over and got much nicer towels because I could afford it. You don't have to be rich to enjoy some better things when you were dirt poor for nearly a decade. As far as downsides, I'm still not rich so I can't splurge that often on other things. One answer to both questions, I couldn't afford beer and now I can. Glad you have priorities in order, my man. I'm not rich, but I've been dirt poor. While I make a good living for my area, and can afford to actually buy stuff, I still get major anxiety when I spend money. I went from making decent money to losing everything in Hurricane Katrina years ago, and something in the back of my mind tells me to hoard money because it will happen again. I don't live anywhere near a hurricane vulnerable area, but I just mean a catastrophic event of some sort. I've made a lot of strides with being okay with spending money, but I still have a lot of tendencies that people would call cheap.